to some extent, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
We are back. It is May. This will drop on what? May 10th? May 9th? May 9th, probably?
May 9th.
Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't been in the studio for a while, so it feels good to be back.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I've been traveling a ton lately. So this is, I guess, pretty much my first week back in like a month, pretty much.
How have your travels been?
Good, but I've been feeling pretty traveled out, like just pretty exhausted, like tired. It's tough, like living out of the same outfits all the time, and like I don't know, just being on the road. I feel like I get sick every time I'm gone for a long time.
Yeah.
And so it can be a lot when you're doing it for a while, but it's my own choices, so.
I know. I get like that too, where I'm here for a while and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't gone somewhere in a little bit. I get like sick, not sick of it, but like antsy, like I need to go somewhere. And then I all of a sudden like plan all these trips and I'm like, oh my God, I just need to go home.
Yeah.
I feel
You're
like there's
why
a
did
healthy
I do all
balance.
these close to each other?
And I have not learned that healthy balance yet.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, I feel the same way. It's because you plan them a little bit in advance, and then you never really, if you line two up like close together or something like that, then it feels like you're on the road for a while.
Right.
So it's good to be back. It's all pretty much the wrap up of that.
I know, it is
It's good to be
hard
back.
living out of a suitcase and like not cooking your own meals and eating out all the time and not sleeping in your own bed. But it's also really fun at the same time, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how about you? What have you been up to?
I guess I've been traveling a lot too. Been back this week. One of my best friends from college came to visit this weekend, so that was a really fun but long weekend. But no complaints. Pretty happy.
I do have one complaint.
Uh-oh.
Something that made me pretty upset, I would say. But so I'll throw in this quick story here. So I guess I was talking about how I haven't been in Denver for a while, but when I was here before, and I haven't been able to talk about it on the podcast yet, but I was walking in my own building. We have a little gym in the building, and I went to the gym, was kind of walking with my headphones, just vibing out, just kind of in my own world, getting in the elevator. And I'm getting in the elevator to go up, and nobody's in the elevator. I'm just paying attention, doing my own thing. And I just step into this huge poop in the middle of the elevator. That's not even a fake story. That's real. And that's absurd that someone literally let their dog poop. I hope it's their dog. Someone let their dog poop in the elevator and then just left it there. And I was like, I was about to leave for the airport. And I look at my shoe and it's covered in poop. And I'm like, dude, in the elevator where like, that's like the only place you know people are going to stand. Like,
It's disgusting.
And so I walked all the way, pretty much trekked through the entire building with poop on my shoe.
You should have taken it off.
You know what? I was just upset. I wasn't really thinking. And I had to clean it off and then wear those shoes to the airport.
Wait, so you're going to the airport or the gym?
I was coming back from the gym. Like I was going to go home and get ready to go to the airport.
Got it.
And then I had to spend 20 minutes cleaning. Because I live in an apartment building. I don't have like a hose to like hose it down.
Right.
That would have been really nice.
You also don't have like a yard to go outside.
Yeah. So I went on our balcony and just used paper towels and my hands. That was so frustrating though, because like, if you have a dog, like I don't care. Like leaving your dog's poop outside is one thing. But leaving your dog's poop in the elevator is
that's disgusting.
unacceptable. Like that's ridiculous.
I didn't know where you're going with that story because I felt like this happened so long ago. So I was like, oh my God, did this happen again?
No, it did not happen again. Thank God. I look literally in the elevator on the ground when I walk in now.
I know Denver's like really great at being dog friendly and all. All of our apartment buildings are, dog friendly. Like you can have dogs, but for some reason the dogs in your building specifically are like feral.
Not well behaved.
No.
And I like dogs, but they're making me not like dogs.
They're like off leashes.
I know it's like a crime to say that you don't like a dog, but
no, I mean dogs that misbehave that aren't yours either like can be very scary.
Like we know someone who got bit by a dog in the elevator.
Yeah.
This all happens in the elevator.
And it's all at your apartment. Too.
Yeah, I might just start taking the stairs. And yeah, so I don't know. Like I try to be nice. Dealing with like a bunch of dogs around, I guess it is cool to see everybody's dog, and like sometimes they're really friendly, but then you don't know if like you should be petting them or like if the owner wants you to pet them or not. So it's always an awkward situation, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Nice. There's this one dog, a Saint Bernard, at your apartment that I'm obsessed with. I've always wanted a Saint Bernard since I was a little girl, and I always want to go pet him because he's so cute. Like if you know Saint Bernards, they're massive, like probably bigger than the both of us. They're huge. Yeah, and they're so like friendly and like they're just adorable, like gentle giants. And anytime I see him, I always run up to him, like literally sprint to him. And like I know his name now too. And I'm like running like Tucker. I swear the owner is like, get the fuck away from my dog. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, well, it's different. It's like if you don't have your own dog, so it's nice to see dogs around. You kind of start to build like subconscious relationships with the dogs in your building.
Yeah.
Like there's a Rottweiler in my building, and in the elevator, I don't pet him. I just look at him, and he just looks at me.
Wait, why don't you pet him?
I had to say what's up in my head. I don't know, because I feel weird about petting other people's dogs.
I don't. Unless they're going to bite me, I guess.
Because like, what if you start petting the dog and the owner's like, don't pet my dog?
That's basically, no, I always ask. I feel like that's a very, like, you have to ask.
Yeah.
You know, or let the dog sniff you first before you go in.
Yeah, but all dogs are going to sniff you.
No, but that's like a thing. You're supposed to like put out your hand to like make sure they meet you and like think you're safe, and then you can pet them. You don't just go in. That's why people get bitten.
Yeah, that's fair. That's probably why.
Well, I'm sorry the poop situation happened to you.
Yeah, if you ever enter an elevator, look down to see if there's poop. That's my moral of the story there.
Anyway, let's get to the topic. We wanted to talk about our personal experiences with our first year out of college. I feel like it's a very timely topic because a lot of people are graduating around this month. You know, my brother's literally graduating in 2 days. So I thought it'd be interesting if we talked about our experience and what we've learned and all that good stuff to share with you all.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty timely topic for sure. It makes sense. And I think there's a lot to talk about, honestly, just because a year sounds like a long time, but it's not.
Oh my gosh, this year seriously flew by. Also, my college roommate was in town visiting us this past weekend, and it was just so happened, like, literally a year ago, we graduated, and we got all of our, Snapchat memories of us at graduation, throwing our hats, partying, hanging out, our families are in town, and it made me just so sad to realize, like, we've already been out of college for a year. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, and we'll get back to that, but let's start off, like, when you did graduate, what were the kind of things that what was running through your head? Put me into your headspace when you were graduating.
My friends and I have like a huge friend group, and we did a really good job about planning our graduation. All of our families came in town for an entire week, and it was a blast. I mean, all the parents kind of meeting each other, seeing each other again. All of us kids, we had a couple, big dinners planned, and then obviously graduation hit. My friends and I had graduation, I think, at like 8 a.m. It was super early at Folsom Field, our football field. And we woke up. I remember like waking up 4 a.m., getting ready, getting our dress on. We all met at my current roommate's house and all just drank for like an hour before graduation. We got at her house at like 5 a.m. and it was just so fun. Like something we would never do again, but so fun. I was definitely super emotional during that week. I think, you know, as finals rolled around and stuff, I was kind of getting like antsy in a way, just over like all the drinking and partying, and I was ready to like leave and, you know, do my own thing. But that made me so emotional. Like my parents coming in town, my grandparents meeting all my friends. I got really sad, mostly because I was leaving my friends. A lot of us were going to different states. But I was also really excited because I had a job lined up, and I felt really confident because I already knew what I was going to do after college. I wasn't kind of like, you know, waiting on another job to come in or to see what I wanted to do. And I also knew I was moving to Denver. So I kind of already had a plan laid out for myself, which felt good because, you know, you also get those questions a lot when you're seeing other people's parents and your own family members are always asking, you know, what are you doing? I was definitely really emotional, though. I'm not going to lie. A lot of tears, a lot of laughs, a lot of good times, but I was emotional.
Yeah, it's a bookmark, like just the end of a chapter there. And so, yeah, it comes with a lot for sure. But it also comes with some excitement, too.
I agree.
Just because you realize the whole world's kind of your oyster after that.
That's the thing. It was so bittersweet. Like, I was so ready, I think, to, you know, grow up and get out of Boulder. But I also was just so sad to leave my friends. They were, you know, it's just insane going from living next to your best friend and living with your best friends to, you know, they're moving to California and my guy friends are moving to the East Coast and we're not close at all anymore.
Yeah.
So that was like the one thing I was really, really sad about and not ready to say goodbye. But how about you? Were you as emotional as I was?
No. I don't think that says, like, I was definitely going through a lot of the same stuff you were, but I think that says more about me. Just, like, I'm not a crazy, like, emotional person. I think one, like, good but also bad thing about me, I think, is I'm always kind of, like, on to the next thing.
Okay.
And so I was very excited about what was coming next.
Yeah.
But I was also very sad and I do look back and be like, those were great times, and I do miss my friends a lot, but I do make an effort to see them.
Right.
And so I think to be honest, I think, you know, we can get into this a little later, but I think adult life is even more fun. Okay. But we'll get into that later. I think in terms of my mindset that week, it was, that whole week is go, 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 go.
Right.
And you start and it's over. And I look back when my family left and I was like, wow, it's really over already?
Yeah.
And so I had a job back in college too, and I was like, you know, saying goodbye to the job, and like, because I'd worked there for like 2 years almost, a year and a half. And yeah, I don't know, it was good and bad, but I think it was mostly good to just get out of there, find a new chapter. And then I left like 3 days after graduation, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to spend like kind of saying goodbye to people. I just had to kind of just do it.
Yeah.
I had to just rip the Band-Aid off, really. So it wasn't like me like kind of sulking and being like, oh, this is going to be so sad. Like, I was just like, I have to go.
Yeah.
Because me and my buddies were leaving for Europe. We left like a week after graduation. Mm-hmm. And so it was a quick turnaround. And then I think that whole summer was a huge, just quick turnaround after quick turnaround.
Yeah.
And I went to Europe, came back. I worked for like a week to try to make more money to go back to Europe. Came back to Europe, went back, left again, and then moved to Denver. Mm-hmm. So it was probably one of the craziest months of my life for sure.
Right.
But that's what I was looking forward to. I was excited about all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wasn't looking past that until I got there.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I got to Denver, I was like, oh yeah, no, I have to figure all this out too.
Right.
So.
I guess that's true. I think for us, we stayed in Boulder because leases in Boulder usually go from August to August. So we had the whole summer in our place still. So we stayed. I didn't move out of my Boulder house until August to move here. But we also went abroad, and that was a really, really special and fun time. There was 5 of us, 5 of my best friends, and like you said, it was just very memorable, and that was kind of our last hurrah before we, all moved apart and also started full-time work. But
Yep.
I guess I was like the opposite of you. I wasn't right out of Boulder and like move out. Like I still had all my stuff there. We did go abroad and then come back to Boulder. So it was more like me saying bye to my friends who were kind of doing what you said you did.
Yeah.
And just got up and left. Like that, it was weird just not having them there and then me still being there, So I think that's why it made me emotional because I was like, wait, don't leave yet,
Yeah, you were still there.
Yeah, so I think we kind of had...
I was the first one to leave.
Right. We were probably like the last.
Yeah.
And it was also because I was moving from Boulder to Denver, which is only a 30-minute drive, so it wasn't like I had to pack up and drive across the country or whatnot. But I guess we can get into,
I want to make a quick PSA, though. If you are debating on whether you should or should not go to Europe after graduation, 100% go.
Yeah.
It was it was an awesome time, and I think, like, you don't get those experiences very often when you start full-time work. It's like,
no, it's
you
so
don't have that
hard.
much time off ever.
Right.
And so, like, if you have that opportunity, like, fully go for it. I know it can be, like money's always an issue. But if you do have that and you're able to make it work, like, 100% do it.
No, I feel really grateful that I was able to go and save up. Because I basically started working full-time after graduation. So, like, I worked for probably, like, a few weeks. And then I'm so lucky they said yes to giving me a week off, or a month off, so I can go travel with my friends.
Yeah,
because we kind of went a little later than you. And I was already working. And that's a huge, like, deal to ask your new company you're just working for a month off.
Yeah.
So I got really
That's
lucky.
crazy.
But I agree to your PSA. I do want to talk about, ask you, what were some of your worries or nerves leaving college and going into the real world, our lives now?
Mm-hmm.
If any.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't have a ton of worries only because my mindset was, like, totally focused on going, like, to the next place that I was trying to get to. And so...
Which was Denver or abroad?
Like, when I went abroad.
Okay.
And then, like, I knew the things I had lined up. Like, I knew I had a place to live in Denver. I knew I was moving there. I knew I had a job there. And so then I decided, like, all right, I have those things set up. I know, like, at least 3 people. So we'll see how it goes. I guess one worry that I could have had, which I probably did have a little bit, but honestly I probably wasn't worried enough, is I went with a random roommate.
Yeah.
And, my roommate is fantastic now, and I got really lucky, but I think that going with a random roommate somewhere you've never lived before with people you don't know, in a city you don't know, and a city you've pretty much never been to.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some risk there for sure.
Right.
But I don't think it could have worked out any better.
Mm-hmm.
I got super lucky, and I think that would have been my number one worry, would have been that, like, I don't know how I'm going to live with somebody else who I don't know. What if they, like... Because there's a ton of things that, like, could... living with someone is so crazy that it's, like... It's so different that there's so many things that you could, like, not like, and, you pick up on other people's
I agree.
small idiosyncrasies and things like that. So it's not like being friends with somebody. It's like you're there all the time.
In their space all the time.
Yeah, so it's much bigger deal, I feel like.
I agree.
So that would have been my that definitely was, now that I think about it, my number one worry.
Okay.
And I realized quickly that it was a stupid thing to worry about. So
Yeah, because he's great.
yeah, exactly. So I think, yeah, other than that, I was not really that worried. I was mostly just excited for the adventure and ready to go and just.
That's nice, though. I mean, I wish I could relate, but I can't. I was
Yeah.
so, I don't even know if word's the correct word. I think I was just so sad to, like, leave my friends and know I'm not living next to them or living with them anymore. But I was super excited to, move to a new city. I still have a ton of great, good friends that are in Denver that came from Boulder with me. I'm living with my best friend right now. I think I was just worried about, of course, moving to a new city. I didn't know much about Denver at all. I didn't even know the areas, really. Because in Boulder, like, we always stayed in Boulder. And then if I was leaving, I was either going back home to Chicago or somewhere else. Like, I never was in Denver much. So I didn't know much about Denver. But I think that comes with, moving to a new city. You get to learn a lot more about it. I was definitely nervous about working full time. I just feel like it's a huge time commitment, and I know everyone does it, but it's just a huge change, going from college and having classes, but also having so much free time to working 40 hours a week. That's a huge chunk of your time. So I think I was nervous about that, which it's going well, and I obviously love it and have stuck with it. And what was my other worries? I don't know. I think just like losing touch with people, which obviously does happen naturally, but I suck at goodbyes too. I'm like such an emotional person, and I hate saying goodbye to people. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like high school in a way. Like, you have your best friends, your close-knit group, but it's like you say bye to all your other friends, even just like your school friends that you don't really hang out with much. And it's just sad. A chapter of your life is closing, but you're right, it is very exciting to start a new one. I just didn't know really what to expect. Another, again, not worry, but something I guess that was a huge change was us doing short distance, because we did long distance throughout college, and that's what we were used to. So you coming to Colorado and living here for the first time and us doing short distance for the first time was a huge change as well. Mm-hmm. And, like, now we're obviously got it down and know the differences, but that was scary to me because we knew how to interact and how to take care of each other when we were far away. It's a huge change to come and live basically a block away from one another. It was a huge change for us, I would say. So that was another 100%, thing.
Yeah.
But now I see it as like a really good thing. I just was nervous at the beginning. Like, yeah. I'm just I guess going back to my mindset as I was leaving Boulder, moving to Denver. Like, that's what was going through my mind. Like, what if? But that's just how how
your brain works. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I don't do that as often as you do, I think, but I think they're valid worries. It's valid to think about.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense to, try to think about all the things that could happen. And mm-hmm. It is like kind of creating, I don't know, sometimes I feel like you do think about a lot of things, and, you create problems that don't exist sometimes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I get it, like, where your head was at looking into.
I guess I'm just kind of ranting and just sharing, like, all these worries that I feel like, that could just be a me problem, but,
I doubt it.
Real things that I feel like other people can sometimes relate to.
Yeah. No, I know exactly. But yeah, I'm following you.
Thanks.
All right, so maybe, I talked about things I was more like excited about. What were you excited about?
I was really excited to get out of that college atmosphere, to be honest. I was ready to, pick out a real adult apartment and decorate it and have it clean and not like a frat house.
Yeah.
I went from 8 roommates to 4 roommates to 1. So I was really excited to just have, Shannon and I's own space and just have it clean and neat and how we want it. I was excited to, again, move to a new city. I was excited to really, I guess my biggest priority was get into a routine, a healthy routine. I know I mentioned this in past episodes, but I definitely wasn't living a healthy lifestyle in college. So that was one thing I really wanted to change for myself.
Gotcha.
So a routine has really helped me put some structure back into my life. And
just to touch on that really quick, I think, like a routine. So you say that, and I think it's really important to kind of have, like, when I look back on it, I think I was thinking about a few things that I wanted to kind of achieve in the next chapter that I was moving into. And, like, that sounds like it was one for you, which is, like, you thought about, all right, I don't really have a great routine now. Maybe I can change that in this next chapter of my life. Like, I can create a routine that I can stick to.
Right.
And so, like, creating those, like, little goals that you might have for the next chapter, I think can also get you more excited about it. If you're not excited about it, or, like, if you're worried, if you're more worried than excited, I guess, like, think about the ways that you want to, like, positively change and why this chapter's happening.
I agree.
And then, like, try to stick to those goals, which I think this is a really good example of.
If you guys love gold jewelry as much as I do, you have to check out Slide Jewels. Slide Jewels is a jewelry brand that crafts contemporary and affordable pieces from high-quality stainless steel. From earrings, necklaces, rings, and bracelets, Slide has pieces for everyone. Use code TOSOMEEXTENT to get 30% off your purchase. Links and promo code will be in the show notes, so check it out. So, wanna do a little recap of your year so far and what you've kind of experienced or some new things you've spent your time on?
Yeah. I would say one of the goals I had for this new chapter was I really wanted to learn how to ski. That was a big goal of mine, just moving out here. This is like the ski capital of America, so like everybody's skiing all the time, so I wanted to fit in. I feel like that was a good, easy way to make friends too. And so, yeah, I really wanted to learn how to ski, and so I worked on that for like the 6 months we were here. I guess when skiing opened, so it was more like 3, and then the last 3 months, just been working on skiing and like trying to get better, because I wanted to become at like a point where I'm competent enough to like not make a fool out of myself, and also like get invited to fun ski trips if I, so like people are like, oh yeah, he can ski.
Right.
So I think I've completed that. I wasn't looking to do anything crazy. I wasn't looking to like shred any blacks or hit any of the box jumps or any of the half pipes or anything like that. I was just looking to not look like a fool out there. And so I think I completed that task.
You did.
And other than that, I think like moving out into Denver, we moved out in the summer, kind of just enjoyed the summer, rolled into the fall. We went to Yellowstone National Park for the first time, which was really cool.
So cool. It was honestly one of the best trips I've ever been on.
Yeah, I'm actually repping that Yellowstone merch right now.
My Yellowstone merch.
Yeah. But that was awesome. Totally recommend that for sure. And then moved into the fall. Another thing I really wanted to do, which I haven't really talked about too much, is I wanted to run a marathon. And so I had been training for that. Pretty much I had to wait till school ended. And so in between school ending and October. So I ended up running the Chicago Marathon, which was a goal of mine. And that was really fun too, really cool experience. And would definitely recommend, if you're looking for a marathon to run, Chicago is just like a great time. Great environment out there.
Yeah.
And tons and tons of people show up. Like everyone's so excited, and it's just like a really fun place to be, a really fun energy around there.
You had a big squad of cheerleaders.
Yeah, I know. I was lucky for that too. So, yeah, great overall experience for sure. And then I don't know. I did a couple, trips to go see some of my friends that moved out to other places. And yeah, I ended up going home at the end of the year for the holidays. And then we pretty much started the podcast right after that.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah, it was a really fun first life semester.
I know. I think what's kind of cool is I feel like, at least for me, is I feel like this year, I guess in college, I more focused on spending time with friends and my social life a little bit more. And that was, my priority, as I'm sure a lot of college students is. Of course, your education too, but like you're with so many friends.
Oh, yeah. And just throwing your education in there too.
Yeah. But moving forward, going into an adult life, you really do find time, a lot more time to do things you've always kind of wanted to do and that are healthier for you.
Yeah.
In a way, which I've figured out.
Or just like personal goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just like I don't know, at school, obviously, if you dedicate yourself to something, to a personal goal, you can do it whether at school or whether or not. But I think for me, the way it worked out was once I graduated, I felt like was a good, like that chapter, close the book on that, and then moving out after, new chapter was when I was going to start trying to do things for myself, like try to accomplish some personal goals I've been thinking about. Mm-hmm. And so that was, those were things I wanted to do. And yeah, I did them, which was, it's super rewarding after you do them, for sure.
It does make you feel more, mature too, in a way, and an adult, I guess. But I guess for me, I, again, really wanted to focus on my routine and health, physical health, spiritual health, and mental health.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I've really been prioritizing this year, and it feels really good. It's not always easy. I feel like in college, once again, I didn't really have a lot of time. I didn't choose to set a lot of time for myself. So this year has been a lot of, again, just doing things I really wanted to do for myself. I guess it's a lot of like more mental things, like starting therapy again and journaling every day and meditating and, doing all those things I really know help me and feel good. And working those things in my routine, working out every day. Unfortunately, my friends and I didn't do many things outdoors when we lived in Boulder, so it's really cool to go on camping trips on the weekends instead of going to bars and go on hiking trips. I don't know, my life has changed a lot. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we spent most of the winter in the mountains, whether that was, staying at someone's house or just going up for the day, skiing. Met a lot of new friends through that. We joined a kickball league.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
To get to know some people around Denver. That was kind of like in the summer, and then we got asked to join it again in the spring. Or no, fall, I guess.
Yeah.
Summer and fall. So that was really cool. Met good friends there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really fun. That's just like an easy way to meet people.
Yeah, it was just different. It was, you get outside and you get active, and it was every Friday night. So we always had a plan on a Friday night after work, which felt good. And it's an activity. So like you were active. And then we went to the bars after. I think the camping trips have been my favorite and something I'm still looking forward to this summer.
Yeah, definitely got to run it back.
But yeah, then traveling a lot too. Mm-hmm. Going back for work has always been super fun, meeting all my coworkers in person and getting really excited about my career path and being with those people.
It's been good.
It's been busy.
I think it's been more busy than I was expecting it to be.
I agree. I think the podcast too has really put more on our plates, which like I wanted though.
Yeah, I think it's just like, I guess that's another one that we did want to start a podcast, or we wanted to start doing something that was more, just creative or creative outlet, I guess, or like just have something to do like that. And I think it's going pretty well. And I think this has been a good like this has been a year of like trying things.
Yeah,
And like
exactly.
trying and like failing, but then also keep trying.
Right.
And like so it's just like working at things and
It's very fitting.
yeah. Like when I was learning how to ski, I probably fell down 1,000 times. And I don't fall as much anymore, which is awesome. But that was what it took to get there. So
Yeah.
I still do fall. And the last time I skied, I literally did a front flip and landed on my collarbone. And actually, good thing the snow was good because I would have broken that and I would have been telling a different story. But
Yeah, thank God. Well, it's all a learning experience, you know?
yeah, speaking of learning, do you have any takeaways from this year? Like, what do you think you've learned?
I think, honestly, the biggest thing is, I feel like you touched on this a little bit earlier, but just realizing that I'm in control of my life. And I feel like that sounds, obvious, but this year specifically for me really has shown me, like, you're the only one in charge of your life. You're the one in charge of your happiness. You're the one in charge of who you surround yourself with, the things you surround yourself with, everything, literally everything. And again, that might sound just obvious and people are like, yeah, duh. But you really can control everything. So I think it's been kind of a hard pill to swallow, but also a good lesson for me because I'm realizing some of the things I really enjoyed in college, even people, we all change and grow at our own paces, and sometimes those things, those hobbies, those people don't serve you anymore.
And I wanted to touch on this a little bit too. It was just like I didn't realize how fast this year was gonna go. And I look back on like the fact that I graduated a year ago, like yesterday, is like mind-boggling to me. And you start to realize how fast time actually moves and how quickly things change.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about this with one of my friends, but like you think you have a lot of time and you're like, oh, I can put this off. Like I got so much time. Like I'll do this in a little bit, whatever. But then you look back and you're like, well, I had like that year went by way too quick. And like if you didn't do things you wanted, like see you to that year, it's on to the next year.
Right.
And so it's like I realized very quickly how fast things move. And if I wanted to do something, if there was something I wanted to do, I was like, I'm going to do it now. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do it because if I keep putting this off, I'm never going to do it. And it's just going to kind of like sit in that little part of me where I'm like, oh, maybe I should do this, blah, blah, blah. And it's very similar to like this podcast. It's like, I thought I had an idea. I was like, hey, I want to do something like this. Let's do it. And we just did it. It's like, if you want to do something, do it now.
Yeah.
Because you're going to look back and that time is going to be gone sooner or later. So you would rather have done it, I guess is what I'm saying. Or like at least tried.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess that's kind of what I realized now looking back. But it took me a while, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's just also pulling myself out of like a college atmosphere and into, the atmosphere I'm in now. I'm realizing what's more important to me than not, which I think is healthy and hard, but also good. Another thing is staying in touch with friends. It's really hard, but it also makes it so special when you are back together. A lot of my good friends came back for alumni weekend, and that was so much fun. It was a lot, but it was a lot of fun. And we just are more grateful for those moments when you're together because you aren't together as much as you used to be. I'm planning a trip to go see all my girlfriends in California this summer, which I'm really excited about. I visited my best friend from home in Nashville like twice this year. So I think like our friend group does a really good job of, making an effort to go see each other. We all live in really cool places too. So it's not like, we're going to visit home or somewhere we're not excited to go. It's all kind of new places, which is really exciting. So that's something else that's a big change, but, if you put in the effort,
yeah, I agree with
it'll make it worth it, you know?
Yeah, but it's all about that effort though. It's like it's more and more effort. The farther you live away from each other, the more and more effort you got to put to still
Stay
be
in
friends.
touch.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like so if you're thinking about like, because I always go back and forth sometimes, I'm like, oh, like I should call this person, and then I just don't do it.
Right.
And then it's like, if you have, like, if I need to start being like, if I have that thought, I should just do it right there.
I know.
Because it's more often than not, you're going to be, wishing that you had like kept up or called or.
At least for me too, whenever I do it, it makes me feel so much better after getting off the phone of not talking to a friend for, a couple weeks. Like I feel so good and happy and in the know again because I'm like, oh, are you going on dates? Like, who are you seeing? What have you been up to? How's your roommate? How's your work? It's so cool to see. How's your family, I agree, though. I think this year's, like, the fastest it's gone by for me.
I think it also comes with one other point I wanted to make was it is nice to kind of start making money.
Yeah.
And
be financially, like, free and stable.
Independent on your own. And it's been super nice to just have that, because it gives you the freedom to do a lot.
I agree.
And I think since I started getting it, it was like, I want to do everything. Mm-hmm. And so, I cut you off, but.
No, I just, again, like, going back to, like, the camping trips we do or, like, kickball team we joined. It was all us. And it's cool to spend your own money on it. But it makes all these really cool memories. And it's worth it, So working and saving up money for things like that really make it more meaningful, I think. But honestly, like, even with my roommate from college in town this past weekend, and I just was, like, kind of looking back on my life a year ago compared to now, like, I don't think I'm personally, like, an unrecognizable person, but my life is completely unrecognizable. Like, I'm doing so many things I never did in college. Never had the time to, never prioritized.
I agree. Changes quick, but it's cool. At the same time, it's exciting. Last thing I want to touch on, I would say, don't forget to have fun. I think time has moved so quickly because I have been having so much fun.
I know, and I think it's a different type of fun in a way. For us, I know in Edie's podcast we talked about this, but we do family dinners every week at each other's houses, and that's so fun and something we look forward to. And it sounds so cheesy, but it's like, it's so fun, and it's something we do every single week and get to, like, get together, cook, and feed each other and just spend time together. Again, like, getting outdoors and not always having to, like, go out and go party. I feel like this year's taught me fun doesn't always need to be going to a bar or going out. I feel like I have a different definition of fun on the weekends now, which maybe sounds so adult, but
I don't know.
Like, we still go out too.
I don't think it sounds adult. I think
I just have a different perspective of fun versus when I was in college, I think, is my point.
Fair. That's fair. Maybe I guess my mindset has changed a little bit. I do agree with that, and I think overall I am enjoying just being on my own a lot, and I'm having probably just as much fun, if not more fun, than I was being in school.
I agree.
So, I don't know. I think it might have been something, going back to the beginning, it might have been something I was worried about, was I wasn't going to be having as much fun. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's true at all. I think I'm having just as much fun. I'm just doing different things and trying new stuff out, and, life is just as exciting as it was, if not more.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, I'm having a blast, and I feel a lot better, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
But I guess if you're graduating, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. Huge step right there. Big time.
It'll be exciting, though. I mean, put yourself out there, meet new people, try a new city if you can.
Yeah, definitely.
Meet people at work, there's so many
Recommended.
different. I think that was another one of my fears is like not meeting new people, but there's people everywhere, in everything you do.
Yeah. There's like 8 billion people. You can meet somebody.
It's like working, you meet new friends. In your apartment building, you meet new friends. Going to Pilates, you meet new friends. Going to the gym.
If you're open to it, I think you gotta put yourself, open to the idea of meeting new people.
I agree.
Sometimes it can be cliquey, especially when I was growing up. It's like everyone kind of has their own squad. Once you find your squad, it's like, you travel in packs, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're a wolf.
Yeah.
And you just travel with the same 6 people all the time. And which is cool, but it, if you put yourself out there and put yourself in a position to meet new people, which I feel like I'm trying to do more of, it can be, you never know what you're going to get into.
I agree. I feel like that's a good piece of advice is in this year after college, kind of go into it like you're a freshman in college, being super open-minded and super open to making new friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you would have a great time, great experience. Yeah. And I feel like being open-minded in general, you never know what will come and fall into place.
True. You gotta pounce on those opportunities.
Yeah.
But I think this was a good episode.
Yeah, I hope you all found some sort of insight or maybe advice, or just thanks for listening to our experiences.
Yeah, hope you found it helpful. If you didn't, then that's okay. Come back next time. We'll try again. Well, yeah, thank you again. And I don't know, any closing remarks from you?
Congratulations again to all the grads. That's a huge step. You guys should be really, really, really proud of yourself. And if you're our age and you just hit your first year out of college, also be super proud of yourself. It's really cool to look back at that year and just look at all the things you accomplished or all the changes that have happened to you. I really like to do that.
Well, this is the first time I've ever really looked back at this is what's cool about like this podcast, because I would just kept going forward. So I never really could take the time to look back and be like, oh wow, my life did really change.
I know. I think I'm just such a big journaler where I'm so used to keeping all my little
I get it.
journal entries. So in a way, this is me journaling out loud.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Yeah. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow us, give us feedback, subscribe, like, however you would like to show us some support. We always appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you again. Happy Tuesday.